Hey friends, in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you 10 incredible hacks that you can incorporate into all of your Design Space projects today. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So for this first hack, this is something that you're gonna be using a lot when you're working with paper, making things such as cards and other items that you may need to make sure your pieces are aligned perfectly. Now, for this specific hack, we're working with this cute little bee card. And what I'm gonna do is take whatever design I have on the front of my card, so this bee mine for instance, and I'm gonna go ahead and just select the design. From there, I'm gonna duplicate it, okay? So now we've got two designs ready to go. But as soon as I get my design exactly where I want it on my card, I'm gonna change the one that's on the card to the score function, okay? So up here under operations, you can see as we go down that there is a score function right here. You notice whenever I change it to score, all of this turns into dotted lines. So what Cricut is gonna do is score exactly where this design should go, and it'll be easier because it's gonna cut out this design and all we have to do is come in here and place it on the card. Now, after you change it to score, you're gonna wanna make sure that you attach those score lines to your card base. So select them all, hit attach, and that way Cricut knows it needs to score exactly where your design should go. And then this design will be cut out of, hypothetically speaking, it would be cut out of white cardstock, and all you would have to do is follow the guidelines that you put on your card to line everything up perfectly every single time. For the next hack, I'm gonna be talking about trying to find the information about the image after you have already flattened it. So for an example, if we use a certain font and then we decided to add an offset to it, but then we wanted to flatten it like this image, it's completely flattened, but I'm like, wait, what's the name of that font? When you click on it, it's not gonna give you the font name right away. But the hack for today is to come over to the layers panel, hit Control and click on the layer that the image exists on, go to image info down here at the bottom, and you can see right here that we have used the font Sassy Cow. It's as easy as that. And used to, you weren't able to actually click on the font after it was flattened to see the name of it. So that was a hack that we used to use a lot more, but you can also use this same exact hack using actual images such as print then cut images or PNGs and things like that, but it also works with fonts. For this next hack, we're gonna be talking about using the color sync function. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't utilize a lot, and really we're gonna be using it for the intended purpose here, but we're calling it a hack because a lot of people don't even know that it exists, and it's just super underutilized in Cricut Design Space by a lot of people. So what you're gonna do is you have all of these images pulled in, and let's say that you want to put certain colors of the image onto the same layer as another colored image. So let's say that we wanted to put some of this green into our sunglasses and our mushrooms. So this like chartreusey lime green color. I want to make some of my sunglasses image the same color as well as my marshmallow. So what you'll do is make sure that you've got all of your images in here. I'm gonna go ahead and ungroup them because they were grouped together. And then you can come over here to color sync, and I can drag and drop any of the layers here underneath this chartreuse color, and it's going to automatically change it. So let's say that we wanted to make the frames of our sunglasses right here the same color as this retro star. So we're gonna find the sunglasses layer, and I'm just going to pull this down until we get to that green layer, and then watch what happens on the canvas whenever I drop this in. It automatically changes the color of the sunglasses to the green. Now let's say we wanted to change one of the mushroom caps to be the same green. All you need to do is go find the mushroom cap in the layers, click it, drag and drop it, and you can see it changes this one to be green. So you can do this super easily by moving all of these colors around, and it just makes things a lot easier when you're cutting multiple different colors. For our fourth hack, I want to show you all how you can change the background of your canvas to be something other than either a solid background or a gridded background super easily. Now, before I would have to go into into my settings and change it from there. But this little hack makes it super easy to change it. All you need to do is come up here to the top left corner of your canvas. You see this little square right here? We're just gonna click it, and you can see that it pops up this bigger grid. Now, if I click it again, we're gonna get a smaller grid. And then if I click it again, it goes back to solid. I'm gonna change the color of the background so you guys can really get a good picture of this. Change it to white. If you select this right here, it changes so you can see the grid even better on a white background. For this next hack, I'm gonna show you all how to put an outline around your words super easily using the draw operation. So a lot of times we will create a beautiful text or something that we want to design, and you can simply add an offset to the image like so. And then you can select both of the layers and flatten it from there. Or you can do it this way, which is our little hack. We're just going to duplicate the text. We're gonna come up here to operation and change it to pen. And then it's gonna create an outline. We're going to select both of the layers, go to a line, center, and then we're gonna flatten them both together. And you get an outline that way as well. Now, both hacks will work when you're using SVGs and stuff, but sometimes one hack works better than the other depending on what type of project you're working on, okay? So you can get there both ways most of the time, but sometimes you're gonna need to use that pen hack, and sometimes you can just simply use an offset and flatten it together. This hack is something that I use all of the time, and it's something that is super easy to recreate and really elevate your design. So you can see in this first set of words, it says Emerson Jane, and there's an offset around Jane to separate the middle name from the first name. Down here, we don't have that same offset, and you kind of lose the name in the first name. So you're losing that middle name because it's just laying right on top of the first name, and it's gonna cut out weird and lay weird if you're cutting this out of vinyl. So our hack for today is to add an offset to that middle name. I'm gonna select Claire, and then we're gonna hit offset, and we're gonna do a very small offset here. We'll do 0.05, hit apply. And then you're going to select the big name. So we're gonna select Mallory as well as the offset over here in our layers panel. So the offset's already selected. I'm gonna hold the shift key down and select Mallory, and then we're gonna hit slice. Then we just need to delete any of the layers that we don't need, and Claire just nestles itself really nicely inside of Mallory. All right, for hack number 7, we're gonna talk about using skinny fonts. Now this font is called Bridget, and it is one of my favorite fonts we have here at Makers Gonna Learn. But something that I run into often when I use this font is that it's a little bit too thin to cut. And so our hack today is to add an offset to your skinny fonts. Now this is a very small offset. So let me change the color of these words so you all can really see what's happening whenever I add this. And I'm even gonna zoom in to this first half of the words. We're gonna select offset, and you can see right here, I can manually gauge it, but it's a little bit easier for this hack to put it in where you can plug in the numbers. So I'm gonna do a 0.01, hit the tab key, and that's going to show you how much thicker it's gonna make it. I'm gonna go up to a 0.2 here. And then from there, you can hit apply if you're happy with that. I'm gonna go back to 0.1 and see if I like that better. I think I like that better. I'm gonna hit apply, and then you can change the offset to that same color. Then you can select both layers. You can see both of them are selected. And if you're doing this for a print and cut, you could flatten it, or you could combine and unite them to create one solid text that's just a little bit thicker than it was before. All right, for hack number 8, we're gonna talk about using the guide operation in Cricut Design Space. A lot of people don't know that this function exists, and it's so helpful, especially if you're designing something maybe on clear sticker paper, or you need to see patterns or designs behind the image that you're wanting to cut out. So let's say that we wanted to put a pattern behind our address label. So I have created my rectangular address label with all of the address details as well as the design, but I'm wanting to add a pattern. So let's go over here to our uploads, and we're just going to select patterns that we've already got in here. I'm going to add that to my canvas. So this is the pattern that we're going to use for this one, and the guide really allows us to decide where we want to have this snowflake pattern on our little labels. So normally this square around our labels would come in as a solid color if it came in as a basic cut. And so the guide allows us to see just the outline, and then we can slice this pattern into that square if we wanted to by selecting the square and selecting the pattern and hitting slice. Can even get rid of that original guide, and we will send this to the back. Then you can select all these, flatten them, and then they are ready to be print then cut on stickers. Speaking of print then cut, I want to talk about a feature of printing that we use on a regular basis. This is our hack to making sure that all of our prints are at their best quality. So whenever you go to make it, it's going to bring you to this screen, and then we're going to select continue. Now, when you go to send to printer, we're going to select send to printer here. Go ahead, select your printer. I'm going to turn off the bleed. That part doesn't really apply to the hack that I'm about to show you, but we don't really need to bleed here. But we do need to turn on use system dialog. So from there, I'm going to select print. And then a dialog box will typically pop up right here. Now, if you're on a Mac, sometimes it pops up behind Cricut Design Space, so you'll just have to pull Design Space down. And then from here, I typically will send all of my prints through the rear tray if you've got a rear tray option, just because it makes thicker materials like sticker paper and cardstock print a lot better. And then the hack here is to always select best. Best is going to give you the absolute best print quality that you can have. You can obviously just hit normal, but we always want to be printing at the highest quality possible. So that is another little print and cut hack for you today. For our last and final hack, this is for all of you out there who love working on a lot of different things at one time. And maybe you didn't know this, but if you want to work on multiple different projects at a time, you can open up multiple different design windows in Cricut Design Space. So let's say you've got this window open and you're like, oh, I'd really like to work on something else. Maybe you're cutting a project right now, but you want to work on something else while it cuts out. You can go ahead, come up here to File and New Window, and it's going to open up a brand new screen, and you can just start a new project. Easy as that. If you need more than that, you can keep going. You can keep opening new windows, and it's just going to keep allowing you to open up new pages. So super fun little hack if you like to have lots of things going at one time. If you guys liked today's video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the little bell so you're notified every single time that we post. And if you liked what you saw in this video, you're definitely gonna like this one. Can't wait to see you guys in our next crafty tutorial. I'll see you there.